at Jerry World this week. So Kev and Elle talk about Julius Thomas, a champion tax, drones, and so forth. Cell phone affirmation, mistaken identity, and the woe of a Bronco fan. All that and more this week on Just Press Play.
The red wasp is excavate pregnant ladies and little kids better get the hell out of the way because I am running. I'm like Forrest Gump, dude. I am running. So, who also got covered by Aretha Franklin in RSPECT. Find out what it means to me. I want you each to use ombudsman in a sentence next week. I got one for you. My name is Kevin, the official ombudsman of the Just Press Play podcast. You like apples?
All right, we are back. Well, I say we. It's just me. Yeah, it's just me and you right now, El. I think we're gonna try. So this is a little live production the people at home are getting because we're gonna try and phone a friend and get Pops in. He's actually up. He's at Cowboy Stadium right now watching the Cardinals Cowboys Week 3 preseason game. Which I want to say I feel bad for him. So Week 3 is supposed to be when like it's the dress rehearsal game, right? And you go. The starters at least play a half, maybe 3/4. And it got rolled. They decided that Zeke and Dak would not be playing this game because there's some issues on the offensive line already. So they just felt like, why even roll him out? It's still gonna be fun. You know, he's there with the fam and he's watching the game, and I'm sure they're gonna have a great time.
Does he still get to like scout for fantasy? Is like David Johnson playing and stuff like that? Or?
I as far as I know, the Cardinals. I mean, they need to figure everything out. So I think they're rolling it all out there. But the Cowboys are like second team. Both ways. They might be playing a few guys, but the guys you want to see, you know, you want to see offense. You want to see Dak and like the rookie receiver Gallup and stuff. And he's not gonna see it. So, but still, he's at Cowboy Stadium. I'm sure he's paying like $8 for a Miller Lite.
Yeah, we ought to ask. I want to know if he's doing that because somebody just said they're also doing like the $5 craft beers or something like that. So I'm sure Jerry World is full price.
Yeah, no, Jerry's full price, baby. You pay the bill there. But by the way, speaking of bills, real quick, did you see so Justin Verlander, he's the pitcher for the Astros, and they just beat the Dodgers in the World Series this past year? Yeah. And he was eating at some like Beverly Hills restaurant. Yeah. And there's the man himself.
All right, we'll hold this story.
Calling in. Yeah, he's calling in now.
All right.
We're getting Pops right now live from the Cowboys game. Well, the listeners aren't going to hear you live, but he's live to us. He's at Jerry World. You probably hear a little bit of the background noise. So tell us where you're at. Are you sitting up in the nosebleeds, or what kind of seats do you have there, Dad?
No, see, I am in like a box. I believe we're next door to Jerry Jones's box. I really do.
Oh, the boss.
I mean, yeah, like the owner, like the boss. And I mean, we got like all the drinks and all the eats you can want. I mean, it's like, this is a first world thing right here. It's nice.
Can you get him over? I've got some some rule changes I'd like to enact.
Wait. First down by the Cowboys. I think first down all game.
You know, you're a natural Joe Buck. You should really go into play-by-play. Wait, okay, Dad, I have a question for you. I don't know if you were actually able to see this in person, but apparently, I don't know if you noticed this, LJ. You probably weren't watching. I was watching before we started recording. They're trying out this new thing for Sunday Night Football, and it's called the Green Zone. And they light up the field a different shade of green, which is between the line of scrimmage and the first down line, so you know how far the player has to go. You don't see that while watching, right, Dad? That's just on my screen.
Not live. That's not.
No, you know, and I don't see the first down line either.
The yellow line? You don't see the yellow line?
No, I don't see that.
I think
I can see it on the big screen down there. You know, on the big screen upstairs, but
you're so high up, you got to like kind of duck down to see it. Am I right?
Yeah, I got to duck down just a little bit to see it. You're right. But no, this is the perfect. Like I'm at the 40. I mean, I wish they could see this. Look at there. I'm at like the 42-yard line. And I mean, I'm at the right height. I got chicken fingers. I got shrimp dip. I've got mac and cheese. I've got drinks. It's not bad.
Okay. Well,
sounds pretty legit.
Well, while we got you on the line, let me go ahead. Do you have a best and worst of the week? Do you have a best of the week?
I mean, I think the best is where I'm at right now.
Where you just described it. I guess you just did your best, didn't you, Mr. Chicken Finger?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And there's no worst. I mean, there's just no worst.
Besides the
3
fact
a.m.
that they wouldn't let
getting
you bring
home
in
time,
your
I think.
yeah, that's probably a worst.
They wouldn't let me bring my laptop. And I mean, I really talked to them. I said, what if I'm a member of the media and I need to write an article? And they said, well, you need to go through the media. And I go,
So you just need to
okay.
get like a little a brown hat with like a little media tag sticking out the top of it is what you need.
yeah, okay. That's what
They'll
I'll do
believe
next time.
It's like a clipboard. They'll believe you.
I should have brought my clipboard. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they'll let anybody walk anywhere with a clipboard. Anybody
with a
will.
little plaid hat. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
All right, well, Pops, I know it's kind of loud. I don't know how well you can hear us. You got anything else you want to share about the Cowboys game, or?
Well, I mean, no, because we're down 14-0, and we're probably going to leave about halftime because we got a long drive back.
Yeah.
But there was something interesting. Have y'all talked about Julius Thomas yet?
We
just
haven't
started.
yet. We haven't yet. You want me to go ahead and share that with you? It was going to be my best.
Well, I read about that. That is really interesting what he's doing.
It was really cool. What Julius Thomas so his career is kind of flamed out ever since him and Peyton Manning had that great year. And now
Right.
he's retiring, and he's decided with that $29 million that he's made in a 7-year career, he's gonna go get a doctorate. And not only is he gonna go to masters, but he wants to learn about CTE. I mean, he wants to learn about helping other football players out. That's pretty awesome.
Did you read the article that he wrote about why he's doing it? I read the whole thing.
did not.
It is very well written. I mean, this guy, he's sharp. I mean, I
Is
was
it on like
impressed.
the Players Tribune or where's that at?
Yes,
I'll
it is.
put
It's on the
in
Players
show notes,
Tribune.
I'm sure.
It's on
Players Tribune is maybe my favorite sports website in the whole world. I love that.
I was not familiar with it, but I will look at it now. It was a really nice article. I'm impressed with Julius Thomas. I want to see what he does.
Yeah.
Well, and like part of it, he talked about how he's excited about what's next after football and how he wants to study the psychological side and the behavioral performances and stuff like that. But then specifically about CTE, he said that football has serious cognitive risk, but there's still a lot to learn about the extent of them. Then that they can always be mitigated. And then he said that hopefully his what he learns combined with what he actually did on the field, like being firsthand, he's hoping they can kind of figure something out. And I think that's just really cool. I mean, clearly football has risk, and he's trying to help out.
Clearly it has risk. And I think he would be one that has a very clear perspective on it, better than most. And apparently has the intellect to study it and come up with some solutions. So I was impressed with the guy. Really
Which we don't have to go all into it right now, but just the way his career got started and then how he kind of was out of nowhere and then he showed up and was amazing. And then onto this, I think when all's said and done, the book of Julius Thomas's life is going to be really cool. I think he's putting together a cool biography.
I agree.
Let's see.
I would watch that. 30.
He was a D1 basketball player. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
I mean, his athletic ability.
Super Bowl
is
champion, right?
Super Bowl
Or did
champion.
he was there.
That was the year. That wasn't that the year the Seahawks blasted the Broncos.
Well, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're
You
right.
should know this.
Oh,
You should know this, Al.
that's upsetting to think. Kevin has been just making me sad for the past. He sent me a Snapchat of the old famous no-no-go-go of Dante Hall.
The human
and
joystick.
I couldn't even respond. I just was upset for a day.
El, I just do what I can for you, El. Well, Dad, we'll let you get back to the game. You got anything else? I'm glad we were able to get you on.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to call in, and y'all have fun. I'm going to have a few more drinks in the box, and Mama's driving us home, so it's all good.
All right.
Shout out to
all good.
Mamaw.
Shout out to Mama.
David, I'm on a podcast right now. I can't talk. I know. They don't know I'm doing something serious right now. They're doing Josh.
What's up, Josh? What's going on?
Let's get rid
All
of
right.
this.
Yes, y'all do y'all's thing. Peace out. Love y'all.
Talk to you Tuesday. Love you
All
too.
right. Out.
See you, Pops. All right, so as I was saying before, we got a live call-in from a long-time listener, first-time caller, Pops calling in. So Astros pitcher Justin Verlander, who helped beat the Dodgers last year in the World Series, it was a great game. But he went to he was eating at a restaurant in Beverly Hills, some fancy restaurant, and apparently on his tab, I'll put it in the show notes, but he put a picture of his receipt, and the person serving him charged him like it has like the normal charges, normal at a Beverly Hills, like it was like some entree for crazy amount and glass of wine for crazy amount, but then it also said Dodger killer, and it had literally a million. They had like 1,000,000,000, and his tab was humongous. It was like $1 million and so many cents. Like it was crazy. And
I like that it was like $1 million and some cents or whatever. Like it was actually only like 75-cent bill.
Okay, it was probably like 1,362,000 or something.
Yeah,
you know, but it was just hilarious. And then the restaurant had to come out. I don't know if they had to, but they came out again. They came out later and was like, "We did not charge Justin Verlander $100. That receipt got, or $1 million. That receipt got changed." But I just thought that was hilarious.
That's funny.
But I almost made that my. Oh, well, no. Yeah, well, I almost made that my best of the week just because I thought it was great. You know, fans being petty because that's what we are.
Yeah.
We're petty.
That's what we do. Yeah.
But I thought Julius Thomas deserved to be my best of them. Thomas announced in a post on the Tribune that he's retiring to pursue a doctorate in psychology. And
awesome.
It was neat. Like, paraphrasing a little bit, but he put like, while making this decision to no longer play the game is really tough, he's also really excited about what's next, and he's going to study therapy, and he's going to become well trained so that he can help people heal from their emotional and mental pain, and investigating the effects of contact sports on brain trauma and neurobehavioral performance, and participating in research looking at biomarkers what may identify early warning signs of brain disease. Well, that can be pretty helpful since he was actually in a sport, you know, the main sport that we talk about with brain trauma.
Yeah.
And so to have someone that, one, they can study his brain, and two, they can talk about like what's been involved, and then he's going to educate himself. And then he also said that football has some serious risk and that there's a lot still to learn, and that he's hoping whatever he can do in this can help someone in the next, and someone coming down the line in the NFL or in football. And I just think that's so really, it's about what you do for the generation after you, not what you do about. Definitely. It's just cool. He looks like he's not. Everybody wants to, like. It seems like players, which rightfully so, I would want to do the same. They want to make their mark on the field. You know, you want to get to the Hall of Fame. You want to do all that. But he's realized what was really cool. His last quote. He was saying that it fills me with a sense of purpose doing this, because you know a lot of times you hear about guys retiring and they don't know what. Like all of a sudden they have all this free time. They don't know what to do. Retiring sports. Yeah. And he says this excites him and it fills him with a sense of purpose. It's a way to help him grow intellectually that he had been searching for, and now he can help learn and look forward to building for the future of football, because football's future is kind of dark.
Oh, dicey.
So,
dicey at best.
So it's real cool. I thought that was neat. The article's really cool. I would encourage anyone to read it, and I hope to see what Julius Thomas does, and I wouldn't mind reading his autobiography whenever that comes out. I'll go ahead and pre-order it.
Same. Yeah, I'll watch that 30 for 30. I'll read the book, whatever.
Heck yeah.
Give it to me.
So, all right, what's your best of the week?
I mean, you know, I guess I've been pretty. My best is always something personal. This week, we had. So I work at a high school, and we have these shows, and it's always like the tech process is like we make this beautiful work, but like the tech process is such a big headache. And I just want to say that my awesome wife turned it into a dream. Like we got done with double what we usually get done with. We're going in with more information than we ever come out with. It just felt like so good to come home yesterday an hour earlier than I was expecting with 2 hours of free work. Like it was such a good process. So that just felt so good.
So everything went all good with it? I mean, everything you're still.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't want to bore you with the details, but you know, the days that we had were actually, we finished the things we wanted to finish every day, whereas usually we get about halfway every single day. And so by the time we get done, it's like, well, we know that we've got a lot of good stuff. We hope it all works together. Whereas this, we know how everything works together. Like we've seen the show run back to back, which is something we've never gotten by this point. It's just spectacular. And the best thing about it is the kids get to experience what it's supposed to feel like professionally to do a show, instead of the idea of, you know, it's all just, you know, fire and we're all running around trying to put it out, and then a show opens and then it closes and then we all just like cry for a week. So Hannah fixed that. Hannah, I mean, everybody stepped up and tried to do a better job. That's a part of the crew. You know, I don't think any of them listen to the show, but if any of them do, like I appreciate everybody, but Hannah stepped up and made it possible. She made me better. She made everybody better. So
sweet.
It was great.
Hannah's the best.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, she's what's up.
Well, all right. Well, let's go into what are our worst of the week, and I'll go ahead and start out. And you know, Dad's at the Cowboys game now, and mine has to do a little bit. Well, I'll just go ahead. Preseason injuries always suck. Like it sucks seeing guys get hurt in the preseason.
What happened?
But even more so with Travis Frederick, the center for the Cowboys, it really sucks with him. Not as a fan of the Cowboys, but more him as a person, because he's been sidelined for a few weeks due to some health concerns, and no one really knew why Travis Frederick had been playing. They just said he won't be practicing this week. And finally, they have diagnosed him this past week. They diagnosed him with, I'll try to announce it the first time, but then I'll just go with the initials of it because that's what they call it in the hospital. But
sure.
Guillain-Barré syndrome. I believe it's Guillain-Barré or Guillain-Barré. It's GBS, and it's an autoimmune disease. And on Twitter, Frederick said, after very extensive examination and discovery process over the past few weeks, I have been diagnosed with having GBS. And then he says after receiving several treatments, he's feeling much better in overall strength, adding that he will continue the treatments and he's optimistic about his condition and future. So I was like,
Wow.
what does this disease mean? Like, is he going to, like, autoimmune just sounds scary.
Right,
And so
right.
I looked up a little bit about it, and it's a very rare neurological disorder where the body's immune system starts to attack itself mistakenly. It thinks it's sick and it starts attacking itself. And it affects 1 in about 100,000 people every year. And they don't have a single cure for the disease, but it's treated with different plasma exchanges. And people typically do see improvements, but sometimes they are left with permanent deficits. And you're looking at a guy who, right now, the way they found it is he's just has been at a loss of strength. He doesn't feel up to himself and always feels, sick, like if you have a fever. And
Did you say how old is he?
he just signed his first big deal not that long ago. I bet he's 27, 28, maybe.
Like yeah. Wow. So he's my age.
Yeah. And 70% of people with GBS eventually have a full recovery. But you look at, it says they could have permanent deficits, and you look at a guy, especially at the position he plays, where it's all about strength and leverage. I mean, if he loses any strength, if he comes back any less than he was, that might be his job. I mean, he may not play.
He's maybe 2 years away from the prime of an O-lineman's career.
Right. Well, he's kind of right. Like, this is kind of it.
Really
He's in it. Yeah. And he might be. Yeah. And this, say what you want. Maybe this is part of me being a Cowboys fan, but he might be the best center. If not, he's right up there with some of the best centers in the game. And he's never missed a start in his NFL career. And it just sucks. Preseason injuries always suck. But this one, like, that's for him to come back as a player. Like, I want him to come back. I'm a Cowboys fan. I want him to come back, but I just want him to be okay. Like, only 70% of people with this have full recovery. And I hope he's in that 70%. I really do. I mean, it's just.
I think we all do. I think I'm as a non-Cowboy fan, absolutely. I think, that's awful.
As of now, the doctors told him there's no timetable, but he says he remains hopeful to play as soon as possible, and he'll do everything in his power, which I'm sure he will. I'm praying for him, man. I really hope Travis Frederick can be back to who he is physically. Now, after my downer of a story, what do you got for your worst of the week?
Well, so I got another downer. John McCain died this week.
And I thought about starting the show with that. Yeah, go ahead.
I disagree with John McCain on a lot of things, and I agree with him on a lot of things. He was a true American hero that lived by a code, and he was a good man, and agree or disagree with him, doesn't matter. You got to respect that man, that he was a good person who did everything he could for the people that he loved and cared for. And agree or disagree with him, that's a loss.
I mean, you can't, there's not very many people out there. I don't think there's very many people that have ever been a part of this country that have loved this country and done as much for it as John McCain. He really, it's a great man. I can't agree with you more.
I'm totally a pinko liberal commie bastard. And he's a hero of mine. You know, I disagree with him on a pretty big handful of things, but I hope that I live with as much, vigor and knowledge of what I want to do with what's right. Like, he's just a great man, and the world can learn from him. So
interestingly, I was reading a little bit about, obviously there's been a lot said and written about John McCain over the past 24 hours. Mm-hmm. And I was reading one thing about him, and it was really cool. It was about him and Obama were at the same place, and when Barack Obama came up, a lot of the crowd booed him and was saying terrible things. And John McCain grabbed the mic and was like, "Look, guys, I disagree with this man on a lot of things, but he is a good human being, and he's a good father, and he's a good family man, and it's okay. We can disagree with things, and I'll argue with them." But that doesn't mean we have to hate each other. And the country needs more John McCains out there. They really do.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I'm with you. Rest in peace. And
rest in peace.
We talked about Julius Thomas trying to leave his mark on football. John McCain left his mark just on humankind. I mean, he really did. Good man.
Yep.
Pump up your Reeboks and bleach your hair. It's time for...
All right, so we've clearly done. Let's go ahead and get on to a more fun topic. And I know you enjoy this topic. And it's what does Gruden have to say this week?
Oh man, I'm coming up with a Gruden drop this week. For the editing, we're gonna have a good Gruden drop. So.
I'm telling you. So Wednesday this week, I was like, oh man. So I kind of teased LJ with maybe we can have a Gruden segment, and it was so easy. I just Googled him, or I searched him on Twitter, and within 5 minutes, I was like, all right, got it. Here we go.
That's amazing.
So he was asked about it was in the Peter King's article, the Monday Morning Quarterback stuff. He was talking with him, and they asked about his reported 10-year, $100 million contract. So he was asked about it. He said, well, I'm not actually making $100 million. And Peter King was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And he said, well, like, you look at Tom Cruise. I bet Tom Cruise never thought his movies were any good, but he's making plenty of money. There's a lot of things that I don't understand. No disrespect to Tom Cruise. I'm sure he's a great actor. But you know what? Just go about your life as hard as you can. You try to find something you love, and you do the best you can at it. I never got into coaching for the money. I got into coaching because I wanted to be a quarterback coach. What the salary cap has become, what free agent has become, it's amazing. So he never, ever got back to what he meant about he's not actually making $100 million. He just got into how Tom Cruise makes shitty movies. That's where he went with that. I don't understand why he threw Tom Cruise in there. Like, Top Gun was a good movie.
Yeah, he deserves that money. Tom Cruise probably knew it was going to be a hit too, because I'm sure he's got some weird alien feelers that can detect that kind of thing. But Gruden's a weird guy. I don't know if you know this.
I think coaches, especially like NFL coaches, I think they're just crazy.
Yeah.
And like they're really smart when it comes to film, they're geniuses. But when it comes to like human life, just like interacting with people, they're just wired differently. Yeah. And I got another example of it. Okay. So Mike Tomlin was asked after the game. They practiced under didn't really see it, but reporters were asking. Apparently they practiced over like a big tarp. There was a big thing put over the practice field.
Okay.
And reporters asked him why, and he answered drones and so forth. That was it. That was his answer. And so reporters pushed him. They were like, and so forth. Can you explain that? And he said, here's what he said. I'll leave that somewhat mystical, man. I'll let you guys hypothesize about the origin of that and its use. And at some point, I'll address it directly. It'll be a 2018 little side story. So first off, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Did Mike Tomlin intercept another team trying to watch him with the drone? Do we have Drone Gate? Second off, Bill Belichick.
We know who did it. The question is, did it happen? But we know who did it.
What had happened was, I bet some random person in Pittsburgh's flying a drone. Yeah. And Mike Tomlin's like,
trying to get cool pictures for their phone background or something like that.
The Pats are at it again. Shoot it down.
Yeah, and then all they're doing is having Big Ben try to throw footballs at it to knock it out of the air. That's the whole practice from then on out. So they had to put a tarp up because they couldn't actually practice.
That would have been a long day if they're waiting on Big Ben to hit it with the football. A drone's not Antonio Brown. Like, it's going to be a little hard.
Right, it's not going to go for the ball. It's not going to catch it out of nowhere. So,
oh Lord. And so, coaches are paranoid. They're crazy. And I just think it's hard for them to coexist with normal human beings because there's something that's not normal about it. Like, Bill Belichick's not a normal person. He's insanely, incredibly smart. Yeah. But when you get him out of football, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. And I bet he has very intellectual conversation. Just the social interaction. They just don't really know how to do it.
Yeah. So I've got a question for you, Kevin. How many NFL coaches do you think believe in the moon landing? I feel like we might have some common ground with you and an NFL coach here.
Well, I don't know how many do, but if there's a few that don't, there's only apparently. So I looked up. Apparently, they did a recent survey of Americans and believing in the moon landing, and 5% of Americans don't believe in the moon landing. Hand up, I'm in that 5%, and that's.
I knew that about 5% of Americans were dumb. That's not surprising to me.
Well, I'm in that 5% that is incredibly smart. Not the one you're mentioning, but yeah, that's beside the point. We'll get into that. I want Dad to be on the podcast. Yeah. I'm ready to dive fully into that.
We need the whole coalition a reason to be here.
Speaking of, so I was talking to this, speaking of not that smart, there was this guy, we were eating at Roadhouse, and he was sitting at the bar, and he was talking about betting games and stuff, and was talking about like the Cowboys and Cardinals game that was getting ready to come on tonight. We're recording this on Sunday night, and it hadn't quite came on yet, and he was talking about, I got Dallas +4 or something, whatever he said, and I was like, oh, you like the Cowboys? I like the Cowboys. And I meant as like a fan, and all of a sudden he just started badgering me. He wanted to like, let's make a bet. And he was doing it in a fun way, but man, he really wanted to bet. And I was like, look, man, I'm not betting on a preseason game. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. And then he even tried to like, oh man, Dallas is at home.
Yeah.
And they're giving them for it. I was like, look, man, I'm not going to be here till the end of the game. I probably won't be here when the game starts. I got stuff to do. I had to come record this podcast.
Yeah.
And what I want to tell him is what I wanted to tell the rest of the podcast. And people ask me, they ask for my advice in gambling, and I'm like,
Those poor
I don't know
souls.
what. Yeah, I don't know what team to bet on week by week. But the truth is, if you want to win, you got to go play at MyBookie. That's the Just Press Play podcast is presented by MyBookie.
Yes,
and
sir.
The main thing, I don't know who you're betting on, but I know who you need to be betting with. And the main thing is to remember, look, you're getting Kevin on a live read here, and it's just if it sounded smooth, it was, and now that the train has derailed, but. Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing to remember, though. Who you're betting on is just as important on who you're betting with. That's why I always tell people to bet with MyBookie. Trust me, guys.
Yeah.
They are your best bet this season. They've been in the business for years. So go look at their reviews online. If you just Google them up, you're going to see everybody likes them. Their mobile site's good. And I always recommend it to everyone. I've actually done it. I've won some money. I've lost probably more money.
But if you're smarter than Kevin, which it seems like based on March Madness, most of our audience is smarter than all three of us.
Well, and as you prefaced, that's 95% of you are smarter than me.
Yeah.
There's the 5% like me that lose, but everyone else, you play, you win, and MyBookie pays. I'm telling you, they have in-game live betting, the most rewarding player perks in the business. And for all you fantasy guys out there, you can even bet the over/under on how many like points. Like you can go in there and say Antonio Brown 21 points. You can go over or under. So if you like his corner matchup, they got it all. It's really cool. So
I'm not a betting guy, and you've intrigued me. I'm just going to throw that out there.
let me tell you even more. Right now, if you join MyBookie, they will match your deposit dollar for dollar. All you have to do is use the promo code JPP.
Okay.
When you sign up and you put in the promo code JPP, if you put $100 in, they'll match you $100. Put $500, they'll match you $500. It goes all the way up to $1,000.
So is there a box that says, "Are you down with JPP?" And I say, "Yeah, you know me." And then
you should say that verbally, but you really just type JPP.
Okay. And then so
I'm telling you,
there's no limit. There's no limit on the
there 1,000.
1,000. Okay.
1,000 in,
so as far as
match you
I'm
up to
concerned,
1,000.
there's no limit.
Yeah. For me and you, for Pops up there in the box, like he might have a limit, but for us, there's no limit. So go ahead, finish listening to this pod, or you can do it now. You can pause and come back, and you get a little dessert for the rest of this pod. But just go on to MyBookie today, and that's mybookie.ag, or just Google MyBookie, BOOKIE, and don't forget to use the promo code JPP when creating your account. You play, you win, you get paid. All right. Now I want to go to the rest of our pod, and I think you have something. You've had a little phone troubles. You couldn't get on MyBookie earlier this week, right? What happened with your phone? Tell me what's going on. I couldn't get a hold of you.
So there's actually nothing wrong with my phone. I just like to peace out of the world. But I mentioned that I had some phone stuff to talk about on the show, and so one of the things that happens to me a lot is I'll drive home and I'll have like Google give me the directions home because I'm coming from wherever, Chicago,
right?
And
BFE Chicago.
Yeah. So one of the things that happens is every time I get like right near the apartment, my phone will tell me, "You have arrived." And I'm like, "You damn right I have." You
Does
know,
it do it
like
in
I
that
have
voice?
made it. So I use my phone to kind of affirm me. And so that's happened for like a little while now. And so then lately there's this app that it's like a virus scanner on I guess Sprint or whatever, and it's had this notification that I can't get rid of, and so it frustrated me for about a day until I really paid attention to the notification. And so the funny thing is it says everything is okay, which, normally it'd be like, well, if everything's okay, then why the hell would you give me a notification? But I've been like, every day I've gotten stressed, and every day I've looked at my phone and it says everything is okay. So I've been pretty happy lately. Like, so there's something to even if you know that the phone is telling you that you have no viruses and you've made it home, I think everything's okay, and I've made it.
It's just nice to hear every now and then everything is okay.
Yeah.
So maybe you can help me fix something. And I just want to know, I don't know why I do this. I put myself in weird positions because I just don't know what's wrong with me. But we talked about on previous podcasts, that the having a barber and not having a barber, and how it sucks when you don't have a consistent barber.
Right.
And so I've actually found one. My boy, I don't think he listens, but my boy Doe, he cuts my hair and he does a good job. He always does a good. I mean, we have.
And
good
if you use the offer
conversation.
code JPP,
Well, there is none yet, not yet. But he's been cutting my hair, and we have, like, you know how it works. If you're getting a haircut, well, you probably don't. I don't know when the last time you got a haircut.
well,
but
I take Hannah to get her haircut every now and again. So
you sit in the chair, you're there for a good, at least 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and you're just talking, and you have to make some small talk. And so we've talked about documentaries we like. He's a big Lions fan. We talked about football, and we know each other at this point. We both know each other's name. At least I thought we did. Well, when I got there, last time I was there, I think I don't know when the last time I saw him. I thought it was the last time I got a haircut, but when I got there, we were talking about, I was like, man, I just need to get a haircut. I was going to do something with it, and I couldn't get it to look right, and I thought, well, I just need to get a cut. He was like, yeah, well, last time, you said that last time we saw each other, that you needed to get a haircut. And I was like, I don't remember where I saw you. And so I didn't know. Maybe I saw him and didn't remember. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Apparently, and we started getting further in the conversation, and he was telling me about how he was talking about his girlfriend and how she's doing better now and all this stuff. And I realized his girlfriend hurt her ankle, and he took her to the ER, and he thought I was working there in the ER.
Okay.
And so, but I realized that he had me mistaken, but I didn't correct him because I thought we're too far into this. I got to just roll with it. Then he asked me, hey, that other guy you work with, he comes in here and gets his hair cut too. What's his name? I was like, oh Lord, I don't actually work at this place. Well, I tried to go, I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't know which one it is. And then he was like, he pushed me further. He's like, about your height, is this color hair? And so I even made up a name. I was like, I was like, it must have been Daniel. That sounds like Daniel. Yeah, he's a trip. So now I'm so far in this rabbit hole. Like, next time I come there, he's gonna remember this, and he's gonna be like, how's the hospital? I even told him what my schedule was like at the hospital. I just used my actual work. I just don't know why I do this to myself.
He's gonna make sure that he goes to the hospital to meet you there.
Like, I just don't know why. I should have. I guess I should have. Right when he told me, like, I realized that he was mistaking me, I should have just stopped him. Like, oh, no. You're thinking of the wrong guy.
But
and
you don't want to make him
awkward.
feel stupid.
But that's what I thought I would do. So I was like, better just roll with it.
Surely this won't go anywhere after this, right? So.
And it did. It went somewhere. So, and now he's, I just don't know.
Have you ever seen the show Peep Show?
No, I haven't. No.
So it's a British show, and that's kind of the whole premise of the show. It's like these awkward dudes that, like, they're bad people, like in the same way that, like, Seinfeld and Always Sunny, those people are bad people, but not nearly on that same scale. But their problem is they always let it go a step too far before they say anything, and then it's too late. You can't say anything. It's just not possible anymore. So I feel like you live
sounds
that
like someone I know.
Yeah.
I realized halfway through, I was like, now I've lied too much. Well, I didn't really lie. I just didn't correct him. Yeah. And then I was like, I'm too far into this.
There's no way you come back now. You almost have to find a new hairdresser, I think.
But I really like Doe. He's a cool guy. We have good conversation, except for when we talk about the job that I don't work at.
So next time you come in and you tell him, I quit last week. I couldn't do it anymore. The long hours. I like working late at night, so I got this job at a news station, and then you just fix it.
So I fixed it that way. Okay, well, then that's lying, though.
Yeah, it is, but you've already walked down this road. I mean, you're not going to fix it with the truth. The only way to fix a wrong is with the wrong, I think is the saying, right? 2 wrongs make a right.
That's what they say. Yeah. That's what
I think. It's 3 lefts make a right. So I think 3 wrongs do the same thing. So
okay,
you lied about Daniel. You got to lie about your job, and then you got to. I don't know how you fix it after that because it seems fixed.
Yeah, well, we don't. I don't know. We don't think too hard about it because then we start getting my mind in a pretzel, and then that's a bad place to be. All right. Well, I think that about does it for it's a short week. We talked about the Cowboys a little bit. I wanted to let everyone know I'll actually have a little more insight on the Travis Frederick and what Dad witnessed besides the breakdown that he was able to give us. We got a guy a writer from The Athletic is going to come join me later this week. So stay tuned for that. And we have another episode coming out on either Thursday or Friday. I don't know. You'll by the time you listen to this, you'll see. But just, a quick solution is just subscribe to the Just Press Play podcast. Also, and when you do, a
If you've
notification
got
pops up.
any thoughts on our new format, please let us know. We're testing something out, and so if you like this, dislike this, let us know. We want to hear.
We're gonna try and give you a little more content, see how you like it. But
We're also going to
just
try
let
to
us-
react to football time. So if you're a football fan, you'll get to hear us on Tuesdays talking about Sundays, and it'll be great.
You either get more of us, which will be great, or you have to deal with more of us, which
Or you
is
get half
also
of us
great,
out
yeah.
of your life, which might be a win. That's
either it's a win-win for the listeners. That's
who
really
doesn't
what it is.
win here. Can I
I can't find anybody.
Bro, can I change my worst right now?
Yeah, let me
I
hear it.
just got a message from Josh Smith. Josh Smith, you know who you are. And and if anybody wants to, you can't like really mess with him on the internet because there's a million Josh Smiths. But he sent me a video.
That's a common name.
So we talked about Julius Thomas losing the Super Bowl. We talked about Dante Hall returning for 98 yards against the Broncos while turning around going backwards. And then he just sent me the Darren McFadden beating the Broncos like 56-0 video. So I'm not a happy camper today. I'm not.
Everyone's just really giving you crap right now, aren't they?
Yep.
And
So
then-
new worst.
and then
John McCain.
we-
Sorry, rest in peace. But Josh, you're way worse.
Later this week, we'll have the Pops will be back on. We'll have the full group along with the interview, and we'll do our what we're listening to. But I think that's it for this week. As always, like we said, you can subscribe to us on the iTunes, on Just Press Play, or we're on wherever you get your podcast. You can go on Spotify,
Stitcher, whatever, like anything. We're there.
You name it, we're there. We're ubiquitous. I
Yeah.
got the big words since Dad's not here, since Mr. Dictionary's not here. So, and then our website at jpppod.com.
Yep.
Did I get that right?
Yep.
Yeah. See, I sometimes get it right. And then we got our Twitter, JPP Podcast.
Yeah.
You can find us on Facebook at Just Press Play Podcast. And yeah, let us know after this week. Tell us if you like the new way we're doing it, or if you don't. Well, if you don't tell us. Actually,
Well,
just keep
no,
that
tell us. But like, we don't care.
Nice. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing it the same
But
way.
I want to hear.
But
I want to hear from the people that hate us just as much as I want to hear from people that love us.
That's true. And if you could, go ahead and rate us and review us on iTunes. That always helps. We can't do it. And like I said, MyBookie, go get on MyBookie.
Do it.
You play, you win, they pay. Just put in the code JPP and they'll match you dollar for dollar up to 1,000. Which, like we said, that's the limit for me and you.
Yeah.
If
well
you get
past,
over
yeah.
if you get over $1,000, one, your bank account's probably overdrawn, as is mine. Two, you'll have to deal with Hannah. I won't have to deal with anyone except for I'll just have to be in my misery. But
My bank account's overdrawn on this Dr. Pepper I got a second ago. So,
yes.
so I'm putting about 75 cents on my bookie, and I know they're going to match it, and I appreciate that. They look out for the
$1.50,
little
baby.
guy.
All right, I think that'll do it for this week. We'll catch you a little later this week. Peace out.
Peace.
I will. Speaking of worst, let's talk about the worst first round quarterback drafted in the last 10 years. Paxton Lynch is god awful.
Okay. But at least I got Swag Kelly, so...
Yeah.